Hello and welcome back to my 12 bakes of Christmas. Well, actually this is for a no-bake dessert, but it definitely belongs in the gang. It's a triple layered Baileys cheesecake. And Baileys is an Irish cream liqueur which comes out almost exclusively at Christmas time in my house. I don't actually drink, but it's my sister's favourite tipple, and it's got a really great sweet flavour which is going to make this cheesecake taste amazing. It all starts with a buttery biscuit base, and the perfect combination of biscuits for this cheesecake are slightly different to normal. I'm going to use Amaretti biscuits, and they are these Italian crispy, very traditional biscuits. They've got a really distinctive flavour, a little bit like almonds, but actually you get the flavour from apricot kernels, which is kind of exciting. But they are quite strong, so I'm only using 50 grams of those, and I'm going to put them into a food processor. And to bulk up the buttery biscuit base, I'm going to be using Hobnobs, which are a kind of oaty crumbly biscuit, and they're going to be brilliant. So I'm going to put 100 grams of those in and just whiz those up until they're a nice, fine, even crumb. And I'm transferring the crumbs into a bowl, and I'm going to add some melted butter, 50 grams of melted butter. And once it's really thoroughly mixed and it resembles kind of wet sand, it's time to just put it into a tin. And I've got a 8-inch springform pan here. Now, a lot of you ask me about how to get your cheesecakes out of a springform pan because the base of them is really awkward and a funny shape, and sometimes it's quite hard to get under there. So what I've done is I've put a cake board, just a really thin cake board, which is 8 inches, so it fits perfectly into the bottom. And that way I can just lift the whole thing out when I'm done and not have to faff about with a knife. I'm just going to put all my crumbs in and flatten them out using my hands. Make sure you squish it down really firmly so that you get a nice, firm, tight base. You don't want to have a crumbly base, otherwise it's all going to fall apart when you slice it. And once you've done that, just pop it in the freezer for about 10-15 minutes while you get on with the next bit. This cheesecake is going to have 3 layers of deliciousness, starting with a rich chocolatey layer. And to make that, I've already got 300 grams of cream cheese in this bowl. And the cream cheese is at room temperature, and that's very important because I'm going to add 150 grams of melted dark chocolate, and I don't want the coolness of cream cheese from the fridge to like seize it up. I'm also adding 60 grams of icing sugar, which is already sifted, and a tablespoon of Baileys. And then using an electric mixer, I'm going to beat that all together for about a minute. That already looks amazing and yummy, but I'm going to lighten up with a bit of cream, and I've got 120 grams of double cream, which I'm just going to whip to a soft peak. And now I just need to fold the two together. And once it's all folded through and it's nice and smooth, you then need your buttery biscuit base back. Thought that was going to work. It did work. So now I just need to put all of that into my tin on top of the buttery biscuit base and smooth it all out. And once it's completely flat, I'm just going to go around it with a kitchen towel just to neaten up the sides because I want my layers to be really crisp. And now I'm going to put that into the fridge for about 15 minutes while I get on with making the next layer of the cheesecake. This layer of the cheesecake is made in exactly the same way with the same quantities, except instead of chocolate I'm just going to put an extra tablespoon of Baileys in. So 300 grams of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of Baileys and 60 grams of icing sugar. Beat that all together for a minute. Then in a separate bowl whip 120 millilitres of cream and fold the two together. And now it's time to get my chocolate layer back. I'm getting good at this. So now just spread that over the top of your chocolate layer. And again, clean it up and then back in the fridge to set. Now it's time to get on with the third and final layer of the cheesecake, and that is going to be a really lovely, rich chocolate and coffee ganache. The coffee goes really, really well with Baileys, but if you don't want to use it, that's absolutely fine. But if you are going to use it, add a teaspoon of instant coffee to 100 millilitres of double cream. And I've got that in a saucepan here. I'm just going to heat it till it starts to bubble. And I've got 100 grams of dark chocolate, which I've chopped into tiny pieces, and I'm going to pour the cream on top of that and leave it for a minute. Once it's had a minute, just stir it all together until it's nice and smooth. And once it's all smooth and while it's still runny, you then need to get your cheesecake back and layer it all over the top. And I'm going to finish mine off with a few gold sprinkles. And that just needs to stay in the fridge for at least 2 hours or overnight until you're ready to serve it. Look at that. Just look at it. It's so pretty and the layers are perfect. And if you make this for your mates, they're going to be so impressed with you, and you do not have to tell them that that was the easiest thing in the world to make. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've been enjoying my 12 Bakes of Christmas, and do check out the rest of the videos on the 12 Bakes playlist, and also check out the Christmas playlist as well for some more ideas. And let me know what your favourite thing to bake is at Christmas in the comments box below. I will be back on Thursday with a really great alternative Christmas cake, so I'll see you then. Bye!